Welcome back to Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier. I wanted to share a recipe with you today for what I think if you try this, you will agree is the best pizza you've ever eaten. You can make the pizza crust yourself. I would suggest you do that. It's easy to find recipes online for that. Or if you don't want to make it yourself, you can get one of those balls that the grocery stores carry and flatten it out and use that. Or I think some grocery stores even have frozen pizza crust. But I would suggest you make your own. It's not hard and it turns out a lot better. But then you use this topping, and I promise you, it's the best thing ever. I asked a friend of mine recently, why isn't pizza? A friend of mine who's a really great chef, why isn't pizza puttanesca a thing? And he said, I don't know, but it sure should be. Because how could anything be better than a pizza topped with puttanesca sauce? So I made it a few times, and I think it actually is the best pizza uh, possible. So I'm going to share my recipe for puttanesca sauce with you for you to make your pizza. Puttanesca sauce started in Rome, where the puttanas, you know what that is. I won't go into that, but the puttanas at the end of the night would go by trattorias and want something to eat at the end of their evening, and the trattorias would just throw together whatever was in the kitchen and make a sauce out of it, and that turned into a classic dish, pasta puttanesca, which can actually be served hot or room temperature. It's great in the summer, cool. But we're going to make a pizza topped with puttanesca sauce, and this is how you make puttanesca sauce. This is my recipe. Um, the ingredients are 2 cloves of garlic, 4 anchovy fillets. Don't say I don't like anchovies. Use the anchovies. They make all the difference in the world. Uh, if you have to use the anchovies, or the recipe's not nearly as good. And you want to use anchovies packed in olive oil, not in salt. And then a half cup of, I use Kalamata olives, but whatever your favorite olives are, pitted. 2 tablespoons of olive oil, half of a red onion sliced thin, 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes, or if it's the summer and you can use fresh tomatoes, the equivalent of that would be even better. 3/4 cup of white wine, a half teaspoon of kosher salt, a quarter teaspoon of fresh black pepper, and 4 ounces of Parmesan grated, and 12 basil leaves. So here's what you do. First, you chop up the garlic, anchovies, and olives and chop them pretty fine. Mix them together. Then in a large skillet, heat the olive oil and add the red onion and cook until it's slightly caramelized. Add the tomatoes, cook for a couple more minutes. Pour in the white wine, cook for a couple more minutes, and then add the mixture of garlic and the olives and anchovies. Then stir that and continue cooking it until it becomes extremely aromatic, which will happen pretty quickly. Add salt, pepper, then taste it and adjust the seasoning. You may like it a little bit. Doesn't take much salt because of the anchovies and other things in the sauce, but adjust it to your taste, how you want it to be. Then add the Parmesan and mix it all up. Grate your own Parmesan. Buy a good quality Parmigiano Reggiano from a good cheese shop. Don't use the stuff that's already shredded that comes in a little plastic thing, because that's terrible. It's always terrible, and the sauce won't be as good. So buy a good quality Parmigiano Reggiano and grate it and stir that into the sauce, and then tear the basil leaves pretty small and stir them in too. Then just top your pizza with that mixture, the pizza crust with that mixture. That simple. Spread it all around, fairly thin, maybe, quarter of an inch thick. Pop it in the oven for 425 degrees I'd leave it and put in for 18 minutes. Check it after 18. It'll probably need about 3 more minutes. when the crust is brown and the sauce is bubbly and the cheese is melted and caramelized, take it out. This is another important step. After you take it out of the oven, let it sit for 3 minutes before you cut it into slices, because you want all that stuff to kind of solidify a little bit, set a little bit, kind of like a steak. You want a steak to rest after you take it off the grill or out of the oven. So let the pizza sit for 3 minutes before you use your pizza wheel and cut it. And I promise you, holy cow, it'll be the best thing you've ever eaten in your life. Your whole house will smell so delicious. Your whole house will smell so wonderful. It is the ultimate umami dish. It is just fantastic. It's just fantastic. Then serve like a Southern Italian red, a Nero d'Avola, something like that from Puglia, and something with a lot of flavor, pretty full bodied, pretty rich. Nero d'Avola would be great. Cusimano Syrah or Cusimano's Nero d'Avola would be perfect. You're going to thank me. It's absolutely fabulous. Thanks for tuning in to Adventures of a Black Belt Sommelier, and we really appreciate it.